In the quiet Ghanaian village of Kondo, 22-year-old Akojua, a kind and diligent young woman, lived a simple life. She worked tirelessly, selling yams at the market and helping her aging parents maintain their small farm. One afternoon, while resting under a baobab tree, she met 19-year-old Kwame, a charming and intelligent young man from a wealthy family in the nearby town. Despite their different worlds, Akojua from a modest home and Kwame from a mansion with his father, a successful trader, and his mother, a school teacher, they formed a deep connection. They spent hours talking, laughing, and dreaming under the sprawling branches of the baobab. Kwame admired Akojua's humility and her respect for everyone, rich or poor. She saw in him a genuine heart, untouched by the arrogance his wealth could have fostered. Their friendship blossomed into love, and they began planning a future together. Akojua dreamed of becoming a seamstress, while Kwame hoped to study engineering. Their love felt unbreakable, a promise sealed under the shade of the baobab tree. Their world shifted when Akojua discovered she was pregnant. Fear gripped her, but Kwame's steady voice calmed her nerves. "I'll stand by you," he promised, holding her hands tightly. "We'll raise our child together." Months later, Akojua gave birth to twin boys, Kofi and Kojo, small and perfect, with their mother's bright eyes and their father's warm smile. The village celebrated the new arrivals, and Akojua's heart swelled with love as she held her sons. But that night, everything changed. Kwame vanished without a word, leaving no note, no explanation. Akojua woke to find his side of the bed empty. She searched the village, asked neighbors, and even visited the market, but no one had seen him. Heartbroken, Akojua sat on the floor of her small home, cradling her newborns, tears streaming down her face. "I will raise you," she whispered to Kofi and Kojo. "I will be your mother and father. You are my world now." Akojua lived with her parents in a modest mud brick house. Her father, Popayo, worked as a driver for a transport company, often away for weeks, returning with just enough money to buy essentials. Her mother, Mama Adwa, a frail but loving woman, doted on the twins despite her own weakness. Since Kwame's departure meant the boys had no father to provide, Akojua worked tirelessly. She carried Kofi and Kojo on her back to the market, sold yams, washed clothes for neighbors, and took any job she could find. The twins drank powdered milk from the village shop, but when money was scarce, and Popayo hadn't returned, the boys cried from hunger. Mama Adwa would hold them close, rocking them gently, sometimes pressing her dry breasts to their mouths in a desperate hope to soothe them. No milk came, but her love was unwavering. "Your father left you," she'd whisper, tears in her eyes, "but we are here. We will never leave you." Akojua, watching from the doorway, felt her heart ache but drew strength from her mother's resolve. 8 months later, Kwame reappeared unannounced. Akojua was scrubbing clothes outside when she saw him standing by the gate, dressed in fine clothes, looking healthy and untouched by the struggles she faced. One twin was tied to her back, the other in her arms. Kwame's eyes softened as he saw the boys. "I want to take them with me," he said. Akojua's heart raced. "You left us, Kwame. You didn't even say goodbye." He looked away, then said, "Give me one, then. Let me take Kojo." Akojua shook her head, tears welling. "They are twins. They came into this world together, they sleep together, they cry together. You can't split them. If you care, stay and help me raise them." Kwame refused, his face hardening, and walked away. Hoping to reason with him, Akojua visited his family's grand home the next day. She knocked, holding her boys tightly, but Kwame's older sister emerged, furious. Before Akojua could speak, the sister doused her with a bucket of water, shouting, "Leave, poor girl. Don't come back." Soaked and humiliated, Akojua saw Kwame at the gate. Their eyes met, but his expression was cold. "I can't suffer with you," he said, turning away. Akojua walked home, water dripping from her clothes, vowing to protect her sons no matter what. Years passed, and Kwame built a new life. He married a wealthy woman, moved to Accra, and lived in luxury, attending lavish parties and driving sleek cars. For 12 years, he never contacted Kofi or Kojo, never sent a gift, never asked about them. Meanwhile, Akojua, Mama Adwa, and Papa Yo raised the boys with love. Akojua worked multiple jobs to ensure they attended school, while Mama Adwa taught them to pray and cook. Kofi and Kojo grew into kind, hardworking boys, helping with chores and bringing joy to their family. One day, a shiny car pulled up to their home. Kwame stepped out, dressed in a tailored suit, his shoes gleaming. Kofi, the younger twin, ran to him, hugging him tightly, but Kojo stayed back, his face stern. Mama Adwa gently urged him, "Kojo, greet your father." Kojo shook his head. "No, Mama Adwa. You're my real mother. You stayed, you fed us, you loved us." Kwame stayed briefly, held Kofi, then left without a word. That was the last they saw of him. Akojua's hard work paid off when she landed a job as a seamstress in Lomé, Togo. She moved with Kofi and Kojo to a small rented house in a bustling neighborhood. Life was challenging without family nearby, but Akojua managed everything: cooking, school runs, and work. On special days like Mother's Day or school events, the boys felt their father's absence keenly. Seeing classmates with their fathers, they sometimes paid a kind man at the event to pose as their father for photos, hiding their pain behind smiles. One evening, now young men, Kofi and Kojo sat Akojua down. "Mama," Kofi began, "you've done everything for us, but we see you're lonely." Kojo added, "You never remarried because of us. We are grown now. Find someone who makes you happy." Akojua's eyes filled with tears. Their words gave her courage to open her heart again. Akojua met Kodwo, a gentle human who worked as a carpenter in Lomé. He loved Kofi and Kojo like his own, teaching them to carve wood and sharing stories. Kodwo and Akojua married, and soon they welcomed a daughter, Esi. Their home was filled with laughter and warmth. But one day, Kodwo announced he needed to travel to a nearby town for a carpentry apprenticeship. Akojua supported him, kissing him goodbye. Weeks turned to months, and Kodwo never returned. His phone was off, and no one knew where he'd gone. Akojua was shattered, whispering to the stars, "Why does everyone leave me?" Kofi and Kojo comforted her. "You're not cursed, Mama. You have us, you have ESI." Their words gave her strength to carry on. Years later, Kofi married in a vibrant ceremony. Kwame didn't attend, and a family friend stood as the father figure. Guests whispered about the absent father, but Akojua stood proud, though her heart ached. Kojo, meanwhile, struggled to find love. He prayed and waited, until he met Oma, a kind woman who adored him. As their wedding approached, Kojo broke down one evening. "I wish my father could see me," he sobbed. Akojua took him to Mama Efua, an elderly neighbor who had always treated him like a son. Mama Efua held him, saying, "I'm here, Kojo. You're not alone." At Kojo's wedding, friends asked if he'd invited Kwame. Kojo's voice was steady but heavy. I've forgiven him, but he was never there, not when I cried, not when I needed a father. I have peace now with those who stayed. The wedding was a joyful celebration, and Kojo's billionaire bride gifted Akojo a new sewing machine, thanking her for raising such a remarkable man. During Kojo's wedding, Kwame appeared uninvited, now a widower with no children. Security escorted him out before he could cause a scene. The celebration continued, filled with music and love. Akojo looked at her sons, now men, and felt peace. They had grown strong despite their father's absence, surrounded by a family built on love and sacrifice. The story of Akojo, Kofi, and Kojo teaches that true parenting is about presence, love, and sacrifice, not just biology. It reminds us that abandonment leaves lasting scars, but those who stay through hardship and joy create real family. Akojo's unwavering love carried her sons through pain, proving that family is forged in the heart, not just in blood. Hope you enjoyed the story. Like the video, subscribe and turn all notifications on for more interesting stories. Stay blessed, and see you in my next video.